Unified Modeling Language is a standard visual language which is used for modeling object-oriented software. In this video, we are going to see the notations used for UML class diagram. So UML was developed in mid-1990s. It was an effort by James Ramberg, Grady Bruch, and Ivar Jacobson. The U in the UML stands for Unified, since its three developers combined the best feature of the language. So now, what is an UML class diagram? A class diagram models a static structure of a system. It shows the relationship between classes, objects, attributes, and operation. So now, what's a class? Class is a blueprint of an object, or class is a collection of similar objects. Now, what is an object? Object is an instance of a class. So every class has some properties and some methods. How it is being represented in UML class diagram? So it is represented in a rectangle box where it is partitioned into three sections. The upper partition holds the name of the class, the middle partition holds the attributes, and the lower partition holds the operation. Now let's see the visibility. So the plus minus and the hash symbol before an attribute and operation name in a class denotes the visibility of an attribute and operation. So plus represents the public, minus private, hash protected, and the tilde symbol package. Now what is an association and how it is represented in UML class diagram? So association represents a static relationship between classes. So a solid line represents the association. Now you can place association name above or below the association line. So we use a filled arrow to indicate the direction of the relationship. It shows the dependency. Again, we can place roles near the end of the association. Roles represent the way the two classes see each other. Now what is multiplicity? So multiplicity indicates the number of instances of one class linked to the instance of another class. You can place a multiplicity notation near the end of the association. For example, one company will have one or more employees, but each employee works for just one company. So this shows the cardinality. Now the concept of generalization. So generalization is another name for inheritance or an is a relationship. So it refers to the relationship between two classes where one class is a specialized version of another. So it is represented by a triangle symbol with a discriminator nearby. You can label it. Now what about the composition and aggregation concept? So aggregation or a special association that represent part-whole relationship. The whole side of the relationship is often called the assembly or the aggregate. Whereas a composition is a strong kind of association in which the aggregate is destroyed, then the parts are also destroyed as well. So composition is shown using a solid that is filled in diamond, whereas aggregation is shown in an open diamond symbol. So now let's see how nodes and constraints are represented in the UML class diagram. So a node is a small block of text embedded in a UML diagram. So the box has a bend corner. Now constraint. What's a constraint? Constraint is like a node. except that it's written in a formal language. So in UML diagram, a constraint is shown in curly brackets. So UML allows constraints to be written in any language supported by a given tool. However, the recommended language is OCL. It's Object Constraint Language. So in this slide, let us revise all the concept and the notations what we learned in the previous slides. So let us take this slide as an exercise. So what will be this represents? It's an attribute. This represents a class name, represents multiplicity, represents aggregation, represents the role name. It represents an inheritance or generalization. And this represents an association. Thank you.